I'm Chef Say. Vichyssoise is just a fancy French name for potato leek soup. What I love about this recipe is how simple it is to make and how gorgeous it looks on the table. So let's get started. You're going to start with a pan on medium heat. Add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. And once that gets nice and warm, we're going to add our leeks and cook them very, very slowly so they're going to get meltingly tender. So the oil is warm. We want to ask these leeks to release a little bit of liquid to the pan because the goal is not to color the leeks, but to get them to soften. So in order to get them to release some liquids, we're just going to add a simple pinch of salt. Pinch of salt goes on. And now I'm just going to continue to saute until these are nice and soft. So come take a look at this. They haven't colored, which is perfect. It's now time to add our potatoes. So I've got some cut up Yukon Gold potatoes that go directly in. And if you're going to cut your potatoes in advance, go ahead and store them in a bowl of cold water so that they don't turn black because potatoes do oxidize. Add another pinch of salt to this. And now we're going to add water. I've always thought when you're making soup, you need to add chicken stock or vegetable broth. But the great thing about a French soup is it's got enough flavor without having to add chicken stock. So I'm just going to use water. And now we're going to cook this uncovered until the potatoes are nice and soft, about 10 minutes. Okay, come take a look at these potatoes. So I'm going to pull a couple up here and I'm just going to test with a fork to see if they're done. And they stick easily in and break apart. That's exactly how I want them. So it's time to mix up the soup. So we'll turn the burner off. And then I'm gonna get out my handy dandy handheld mixer. So let's mix this up. If you don't have a handheld mixer at home, that's okay. You can use a blender, or if you want a more rustic texture, go ahead and use a food mill. There we go. I'm gonna add just a little bit more salt. And of course, some freshly cracked black pepper, because that's going to give it a little kick. And just to give it a little bit more decadence, I'm going to add a little bit of cream. Let's go ahead and mix that in. Perfect. Now our soup is ready to go. And we're going to add some scallops to this. Now I'm using little bay scallops. You can use sea scallops if you want. Take a look at these little beauties. Don't they look nice? But there's one thing I want you to do before you even cook them. See this little muscle right here? I want you to take that off. It's kind of like chewing on a rubber band, and I don't want you to be doing that at home. So just pull those little guys off and set them aside. And do that for all of them. There we go. Now, because these have been grown in the sea, I'm going to season them ever so lightly with a little bit of salt. Just going to add a little bit of olive oil. Let your olive oil get nice and hot before you add your scallops so they don't stick. So scallops just go in, separate them in the pan. Let them sear for about 30 to 45 seconds. That's it. Don't touch them. Let them sear. Okay, that's 30 seconds. Let's give them a toss. These probably need just another 30 seconds. I'm not kidding. They cook that fast. And I'm going to say that's done. Set them aside there. Let's go ahead and serve our soup. Get our beautiful creamy soup in the bottom of our bowl. Grab a couple of our gorgeous little scallops here. Set them right on top. There we go. I'm going to add a little reduction, which we're going to drizzle on the top. So just pour in your balsamic. It's going to deglaze the pan. There we go. Just let that reduce until it's about syrup consistency. Goes really quickly, so stick by it. There we go. Nice and syrupy. So go ahead and take a little bit of that and drizzle it on the top. There, that's perfect. Don't need to overdo it. This is a gorgeous presentation. It's simple to make. It's a great recipe for your next dinner party or maybe that romantic dinner at home. Happy and healthy cooking.